I see that Meech Home concert got the streets talking. The biggest Meech Home, the streets back. That's what I'm talking about. That's how real niggas come home and get it down.
Yes, Charleston White is correct. I'm a rapper, not a dealer. Be sure to catch my new show, 50 Cent, 50 Ways to Catch a Killer.
50, who own your masters? Who own your masters? I buy your masters. You ready? I will buy your masters.
50 Cent just straight up clowned Big Meech after word spread that Rick Ross scammed him out of a massive $120 million deal. Ross was out here talking big, promising movies, major projects, and a whole empire. But when it came time to deliver, Meech got nothing. Now he's out here looking broke while 50 is turning his name into a running joke in front of everyone. It's gotten so messy that fans are saying the only way this ends is with Meech stepping into the ring to fight 50 head-on. Imagine that. But here's how it all started. After Big Meech left the streets behind, he thought he was about to bounce back in a huge way. That's when Rick Ross jumped in, flashing big talk about a $120 million film deal, blockbuster projects, and all kinds of promises.
So look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director? Shout out to my homie, F. Gary Gray, Antoine Foucault, what's up? Tarantino, there's a lot of legends. This is gonna be big, I can feel it.
On paper, it looked like Meech was finally about to cash in on his legendary name. But the reality, Rick Ross never delivered a single thing. Instead, he flipped the whole situation, using Meech's name like a prop just to flex on 50 Cent, his longtime rival. While Ross was out here dangling movie dreams and chasing clout, it was actually 50 who put his money where his mouth was. 50 funded the entire BMF show, paid for Lil Meech's acting classes, and gave him a real platform to shine. Ross just empty promises and free PR off Meech's back. The difference couldn't be clear. One man was building, the other was bluffing. And it's not just 50 saying he carried the weight. Even his own crew backed it up. Now the word going around is that Big Meech is frustrated, broke, and finally realizing Ross only linked with him to mess with 50 Cent. That's the real embarrassment. Instead of leveling up like he thought, Meech is stuck looking like a pawn in somebody else's beef. But the fake promises were just the start, because the drama really blew up once Meech's own son got caught hanging with Ross at the club. Think about it. Just days after those leaked texts surfaced where Lil Meech was allegedly saying, F Rose Ross, he was suddenly spotted side by side with him in the club. Like, how does that even make sense? The footage went viral instantly. Lil Meech and Ross shoulder to shoulder, whispering, posing for pics, and grinning under red club lights while the cameras flashed all around them. Fans were left shocked, questioning loyalty and whether the whole thing was staged. And of course, 50 Cent didn't let that moment slide. He jumped online with one of his signature trolling jokes. He said Ross told Lil Meech to hand over his dad's address so he could send some wings from Wingstop. Imagine that, 50, taking your messy family situation and flipping it into a fast food punchline for the entire world to laugh at. Savage. But that Wingstop punchline wasn't just 50 throwing shade. It was a message. He was basically saying Ross ain't feeding Meech opportunities. He's just tossing him scraps. And if you thought that was harsh, wait until you hear what 50 exposed about Lil Meech behind the scenes. Out of nowhere, he dropped a post, later deleted, claiming he personally had to send Lil Meech to rehab. According to 50, Meech was showing up to set completely lit, even throwing up during a weapons test because he couldn't hold it together. Then they found whippets in his truck. 50 even admitted he didn't know what whippets were until that moment, said he had to Google it, and he painted himself as the one stepping up, acting like the responsible big bro, keeping Lil Meech on track while his own father was out here cheering on the same reckless habits. And if that ain't enough proof, remember Lil Meech even got himself arrested at an airport. Like, how many red flags do you need?
Hey, you understand that?
Can I call my mom or somebody, please?
We'll do that after.
Okay.
All right, just turn around for me, be cooperative. Everything's just video and audio surveillance. Plus, I'm on body cam. You understand that? Okay.
Once 50 dropped that bomb, people couldn't help but wonder, did he really save Lil Meech's career from completely falling apart? And if that's the case, why is Meech siding with Ross now of all people? That's when things took an even messier turn because another voice jumped in and turned the drama up a notch. Michael Rainey Jr., y'all know him best as Tariq from Power, and he went live without biting his tongue. A fan asked him straight up if he felt bad for Lil Meech. And instead of dodging or playing polite, Rainey went full savage mode and gave his raw take right there on camera.
Do I feel bad for Lil Meech? I don't feel bad for no grown man on this planet. Like, I'm a grown man. Why the f I gotta feel bad for another grown man? Like, you a grown man too. What you asking for my sympathy for? You be alright.
That clip went viral instantly. And guess who couldn't resist reposting it with a laugh? Yep, 50 Cent. He threw it right back on his page, echoing Michael's words in the caption and making it crystal clear he was standing 10 toes behind his power star. It was 50 doubling down on the whole Meech's weak narrative. And the timing couldn't have been worse for Lil Meech. It had him looking like he was losing respect from everyone in 50's circle. But the truth is, this tension had been brewing for a minute, ever since Big Meech's flop of a Welcome Back concert. When Meech first came home, the streets were expecting fireworks, a legendary night stacked with rap heavyweights. But instead of locking in with 50, the man who literally turned his life story into a TV empire, Meech leaned on Rick Ross to push it.
February 13th, the Big Meech home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rose. Now, this the first time it's ever been done. Me performing BMF with the icon himself. This shit gonna be special.
Epic.
Get your tickets right now.
I'm back.
That whole move backfired hard. The concert never even happened. And for 50, that was the breaking point. He straight up accused Meech of cutting deals with the feds and took the beef public with non-stop shots online. Suddenly, fans who once crowned Meech a street legend were questioning everything about his name. And linking up with Ross only poured gas on the fire. It made Meech look like he traded loyalty for clout. 50 spun that narrative and pushed it so heavy on social media that people started treating it like fact. What should have been Meech's legendary comeback moment ended up being the turning point where folks stopped riding for him. That's when Meech finally snapped and clapped back. He posted a throwback pic of him and 50, but this time he slapped a giant rat emoji right over 50's face. No guessing games there. He was straight up calling 50 a snitch. And he didn't stop there. Meech doubled down by labeling 50 an internet gangster, basically saying all he does is troll from behind a phone screen.
I wasn't going to address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me.
And of course, Ross couldn't resist jumping in too. He piled on heavy mocking 50 for being salty about their little link-up. Fans saw the whole thing as a tag team move with Ross co-signing Meech just to poke the bear even harder. Instead of keeping it low-key, Ross made sure everybody knew he was standing next to Meech and laughing at 50's anger.
You took a picture with Rick Ross? Put your back against the wall and just slide down.
But here's the crazy part. Fans couldn't ignore the irony. 50 was the one giving Lil Meech real opportunities, putting money behind him, while Ross only offered flashy photo ops. Yet Meech looked way more willing to side with Ross. That confusion lit the fuse for the next wild rumor that Meech actually wanted to fight 50 for real. After the rat post and Ross's non-stop trolling, the internet exploded with talk of a boxing match between 50 Cent and Big Meech himself. Some people hyped it up like the ultimate showdown, but others thought it was sad. Meech reduced to celebrity boxing just to stay relevant. But what really sent the rumor spinning out of control was Meech himself. When asked if he'd ever swing back, he hinted that he'd lace up gloves if it came to it. Even if he was half joking, the internet grabbed it and ran. And once the boxing chatter hit the blogs, the story spread like wildfire. Then came the real bombshell. Wack 100 stepped in with his own theory and it shook everything up. According to him, this drama isn't just about loyalty or Ross, it's about secrets. Wack claimed that Meech's own confidant, Tammy Cowan, once told 50 that Meech conspired with federal authorities and other street cases. If that's true, the fight rumors were the least of his problems. In other words, Wack was hinting that Meech wasn't nearly as loyal to the streets as everybody believed. And that's exactly where 50's snitch narrative really comes from. But Wack didn't stop there. He stirred it up even more by saying Tammy might have had her own motives for flipping on Meech. Some say she felt abandoned after he got locked up. Others claimed she was fed up with him trying to snatch back his life rights he had already signed over to 50 for the BMF series. That puts Meech in a tight corner, because if Wack's story checks out, it means the person closest to him may have been secretly feeding 50 all the ammo he needed this whole time. But whether Wack was spilling the truth or just stirring the pot, one thing was clear. It gave 50 even more fuel to keep firing, and fans went right back to clowning Meech. One of the wildest moments came when Big Meech stepped out rocking Kanye West's graduation jacket. At first glance, it just looked like a flex fit, but people instantly caught the hidden meaning. That's the same album that crushed 50 in their infamous 2007 sales battle. Some fans laughed it off as coincidence, but others swore Meech was doing it on purpose, almost like he was leaning into 50's old L's just to poke at him. What really stood out, though, was what didn't happen. Normally, 50 is the first to roast a fit, screenshot a goofy pose, or clown a look. But this time, silence. And that silence had people convinced he was holding back on purpose, saving his best shot for later. Because with 50, when he skips the quick roast, it usually means he's loading up something way heavier. At this point, it's obvious this beef isn't just trolling anymore. 50 is locked in on Meech like it's a personal obsession. Most feuds burn out quick, but with Meech, every single move gets a response. Some say it's betrayal. That 50 put Lil Meech on only to watch him run off and cozy up with Ross. Others say it's about raw power because 50 doesn't just want to win. He wants to crush anybody who dares cross him. For 50, letting Meech slide would look weak, and weakness is something he refuses to show. And if this ever leaves Instagram and steps into the ring, it won't be just entertainment anymore. It'll be the final chapter in a feud that's already gone way too far. One man's trying to protect a legacy. The other looks like he's tearing it down for laughs. And the way things are going, it feels less like a rumor and more like the next move just waiting to happen. So, drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, share this story, and don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next one.